Hi there, my name's Ken. We're here in Tucson, Arizona. It's a beautiful winter day, about 60 degrees. We built this wood-fired pizza oven from Forno Bravo. And basically we built it the way the instructions said, with 88s underneath to support the oven. It's got wood storage. And then today we're going to do the initial curing process. It's a 5-day process according to the instructions. First day today will be 100 degrees, and we'll try to keep that going as long as we can. I'm not sure how much wood it'll take to make sure that it stays at 100 degrees, but we'll give that a shot. It's also resting on a colored concrete countertop that we poured to give it some extra support, a little decorative. Little precast design on the oven, and that came from here in Tucson from Concrete Designs Incorporated. Great company, very cost effective, so if you're interested in that product, it's a great product. So today, I got some pecan wood, so we have obviously some lighter paper that we're just gonna wrinkle up. I've got some kindling, pecan kindling, obviously a lighter. I have an infrared thermometer to kind of help us maintain that. And then I made a copper tube with a cap on it, with a little hole in it basically as a bellow to help us keep oxygen on the fire. So here we go for our initial firing. So I'm going to just wrinkle up some paper. Get that going. I think I'm going to add a little more in there. Okay. And then basically just some small pieces of pecan kindling we're going to add on top. Just kind of build us a little, to get us a little base going. Okay. So here we go. First time ever fire in our pizza oven. So we're still in the construction process, obviously, because the outside needs to be painted. And we wanted to start the curing process to get as much moisture out of it as we can before we paint it. So there we go. We're getting a good little fire going. And I'm just going to kind of feed it some embers here and there. I should say some kindling, not embers. So we're getting some smoke production out of the chimney and out of the front of the oven a little bit. So with the concrete e-glue, which is refractory mortar, and the insulation and the stucco, we're talking about probably a 6 to 7 inch thermal mass on that. So there's the fire, about 800 degrees, but the walls are, well, they're about coming up to about 118. So I'm going to just let that burn now. Let that burn down. Okay, so it's been burning about a couple of minutes now. We're about 110, which I would say is pretty close to where we want to just keep it and try to maintain it. This side of the igloo is still at about 97, so I think we're pretty much right where we want to be. So we're just going to kind of keep this burning with a little bit of kindling. Okay, we've been firing or curing now for about 5 minutes. We got some good ashes in there. The walls are about 63, 64 degrees. I'm going to give it a little oxygen with the copper pipe bellow that I made and see how we do. As you can see, that oxygen really helps that out. So I'm just going to throw some more kindling in there and see if we can get just a little bit of bigger. Maybe it's not as dry as I thought. Okay. In the initial firing, I am concerned of the temperature, but obviously it's 65, so we got a long. We can get a much bigger, not much bigger, but a bigger fire. Okay, I think we got a pretty good little fire going just with some kindling. We're averaging about 100 degrees. So basically we're just going to kind of maintain the size of this fire as long as we can and dry out some of that moisture from the concrete and the stucco. Okay, we're at day number 2 for our curing of our wood-fired oven. Yesterday we had it up to 100 degrees and it maintained 100 degrees pretty well. A couple of things we learned was really had to let the fire die down and just let the embers reignite the kindling to maintain the temperature, which obviously you're not used to. You're used to just piling wood in. So it was kind of interesting just to kind of let it die down and then add kindling. This came in very handy as a little to introducing oxygen to the fire to get it going again. So we won't bore you too much today. We're just going to get it up to about 200 degrees, so we'll check back into a little bit after we get it built and get it going. Okay, so we got our kindling going, and we're using a little larger pieces of kindling this time because just to get the temperature up to about 200 degrees. Okay, we're at day 3. We're bringing our oven up to 300 degrees in the curing process. It's going pretty good. The fire lit really easy, and we're just getting a good coal base, or keep the embers up. Yesterday at 200, we got up to 200 and put the door on it, and it maintained 200 degrees in the oven for like 3 hours, so that thermal mass was working. So yeah, so we're going to do 300 today. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, this is day number 4 of our curing process, so we're going to get up to 400 degrees today. The oven looks pretty good. It's getting a little bit of carbon buildup. So yeah, we're just going to get this fire going up to about 400. Alright, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, this is day 5, and we had our oven up for the last day of curing. We got it up to 500 degrees. Just kind of letting it burn down a little bit now. So some of the things I really learned was this is awesome. Copper tubing with a hole cap on it, with a little hole drilled in it that you can blow through that helps bellow the fire. I was able to control the heat a lot, dampering down the smothering it from oxygen, putting the door on there, so I could control the temperature that way. Got a lot of carbon, had a lot of smoke buildup, as you can see on the front, which I think is pretty normal. A lot of carbon in the dome, but no cracks or anything, so I think it was a good curing process, and so maybe we'll cook some pizza soon.